Dacha How, Michael Larson, Washanima Depungyu. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Larson from BBC IML, and this is A Moment with Mike. So here I am again by the shores of Lake Superior, and I had a request last night from Bellamy from Texas, and she wanted to know what my idea of love was. That's a that's a big subject. It's a very big subject. You know, today I had a question about who or what in your life inspired you. And the last few days I've had some really good questions. I thought it attracted a lot of people to the questions. And one of the things that came up a lot was I would find the right person. I don't want to have divorce again. So this is actually a subject that's really good. So if you're not already in a relationship, don't ever settle for love. You cannot settle for love. You'll never be happy if you settle for love. That means you need to make a list of all the qualities you want in a significant other. If you're a woman, you got to make sure you make all the qualities you want in that man. And if you're a man, you want to make sure you make all the qualities that you want in that woman. And then you need to visualize it. You have to visualize it. You have to imagine how it would feel, how that person would look, how that person might smell, even going as far as how that person might even taste. You have to visualize what that person would be like. And you have to imagine what it would be like, how happy you would be when you're with them. You know, it's the law of attraction. Universal law. One of the laws of universal law is law of attraction, is being able to attract what you want. And what I often hear men and women say, women will say, there are no good men out there. There's no good men. And they keep saying it over and over again. There's no good men out there. Well, what do you think they're going to attract to themselves if they keep telling themselves there's no good men out there? Same with the men. You know, there's not a good woman out there. I've tried many times, there's not a good woman out there. Well, if you keep saying that, that's what you're going to attract to yourself. No, make a list of all the things that you desire or all the things that are important to you in a man or a woman. Make a very good list and don't settle for anything less. That person that you spend the rest of your life with has to be perfect for you. They have to be. They don't have to be perfect, but they have to be perfect for you. And don't settle for anything less. That's why I think we get into a situation we are in this country where divorce is at such a high rate, is that we often make the mistake of settling for somebody that wasn't our perfect person. So then when it comes down to it, when you meet that person, there's lots of things that have to come together. The first thing that has to happen, obviously, is there has to be an animal attraction. You have to be attracted to that person. If you can't be attracted to that person, obviously it's not gonna work. And then you have to take your time. It's that important. Take your time. Make sure that they meet all the qualities that you are looking for. And there's another part of this also. It's called fundamental elements, something that I teach. That you have to have security in your life. These are not wants, they're not needs, they're not desires. You have to meet them. But the number one is security. So we have to have security. We have to feel warmth. We have to feel comfort. We have to know that there isn't anything that's going to surprise us at that. We want that in our lives. And we need that in our partner. We need security. The other thing we need is diversity. We have to have diversity in our lives. If everything in our life is secure, our life gets awful boring and we're not challenged. We can't grow. We can't learn. We can't do anything like that. So we have to have diversity in our relationship. We have to have challenge. We have to have new. We have to have, and this is often what makes a relationship go bad, because we don't get that diversity anymore from that relationship. We don't know how to create it. So some people start to look for it in other areas. And then we have to get importance from that relationship. Man, I'm with this person. That makes me feel fantastic. That's importance. Relational, we have to obviously have that connection between the two of them. between the two of you. You have to have that connection. You have to find the connection. You have to keep the connection. And then you have to be growing together. You have to have expansion. You need to be growing. Anything in life, it's either growing or it's dying. There is no other things. It's either ripe and dying or green and growing. And you have to be on the way into your relation, not on the way out. And then you have to have sharing. The only way to fulfillment in anything in life is to have sharing. So you have to be able to share with that person in your life, that significant other. There's lots of things that come into play on this also. Obviously, there has to be intimacy. That animal attraction that attracted you in the first place, you have to find that the rest of your life with that person. If you lose that, you become roommates. So it is something you need to work at. Now, love is not something you go out and find either. The right person is something you go find, but love is a feeling that happens. It's not something you find. It's just like happiness. You cannot search for happiness. You decide whether or not you want to be happy. Now, love is something that you discover. It isn't something you decide, it's something you discover. Anger is something you decide. It isn't something you discover. So, and then when it comes to the actual love, love is unconditional. It has to be. You have to be unconditional in your love for that person. What does that mean? It means you give to them because you love them, expecting nothing in return. So do you know what true love is? True love is when they actually reciprocate it back to you. So it has to be unconditional. If you are telling yourself that you need to do something for that person because they're going to love you more, that is not love. That is horse trading. That is trading off. That's like paying them for love. That's bad. And if you find yourself doing that, that is a trade-off. That is not true love. It absolutely is not. You could call it anything you want. You could say that's what it is, but it absolutely is not true love. You have to feel it, and you have to be willing to give, accepting nothing else. When you have that feeling, you know you have love. And if they give it back to you, then it's true love. If you find somebody that can't give it back to you, I think you probably haven't found the right person yet. But these are things you need to discover ahead of time, and you don't trade off, and you don't take shortcuts, and you don't settle. You have to have it. It has to be this way. So that is my idea. Now that's a 15-minute overplay of what I believe love is. Love goes much deeper than this in a lot of different ways, but it better start with this, and it better be unconditional. It's just like friendship. Friendship is unconditional. You do something for a friend expecting nothing in return. If they reciprocate, then you have a true friend. And that person that you love, you have to see, when you're early into a relationship, it's easy to be totally into that relationship because it's hitting everything, all your fundamental elements at a high level. You get security. You get like that warm feeling you get from that person. Everything is new, so it's diversity, both at a 10. Importance, I'm with this person. Look at how fantastic they are. Relational is obvious. I mean, you love them. You feel that connection, both the importance and that at a 10. You're learning all these new things about this great person, so it hits expansion at a 10. And then you get to share with them. Everything is new, so you're sharing all this cool stuff with them. That's at a 10. What happens? You have to. Hello. No, I'm going to murder this name. Nilafar, I see you saying hi. How are you? I hope I got that name right. But I see Alex is here. I see Jason is here. Liz is here. There's a few other. But let me get back on this again. So you're hitting all of these fundamental elements at a very high level. If you hit more than 3 fundamental elements at a high level, it's an addiction, and there's 6 of them. If you hit all 6 of them, that is something you will go to every time without fail. And when you're new in that relationship, you can't help but be part of it because you're so addicted to it, because it's hitting everything at such a high level. But what happens is that we lose that, and we get to know them very well. And we forget to create diversity. And the diversity isn't there anymore. And we have to have it, so we go looking for it someplace else. Maybe you stop expanding. Maybe you stop learning with each other. You've got to find that in the relationship. You have to learn together. You have to get that expansion. And then you have to share with them. You stop doing that, and you're going to go look for it elsewhere. They're going to go look for it elsewhere. So that's how to keep that relationship strong. And then you have to have the intimacy. You have to have that connection. It has to be there. If you don't find the right person from you right from the beginning, it's going to be very difficult to hold that the rest of your lives together. It really is. So the first step, like I talked about, is make a list of all the qualities that you want in a partner and don't settle for anything less. And when you find out what that partner's qualities are that they were looking for in you, make sure you stick with that. And keep it interesting. Always keep it interesting. You have to find new ways. You have to be growing together. Imagine the disaster of two perfect people that couldn't grow. That marriage wouldn't be able to grow. That's why we're not perfect. We might be perfect for each other, but we better not be perfect, because then there's no room to grow. And you need growth in the relationship. So that's my take on love. I know it was a long, well, it's actually a short version. I do an actual presentation on that. That's 3 days worth of learning that. But that is my 15-minute take on love. I hope this finds you well. Remember, this was a subject from Bellamy from Texas, so I appreciate her suggestion. If anybody else has a suggestion like this, I'd love to do that. That's fun. I enjoy it very much. If you have any comments while I'm going along, put them on there. Go ahead and type them in. I'd love to answer them. I love Q&A. Also, like I said, if you do have a subject, send it to me at mike@inspiredmotivatedleadership.com. I'd love to get that from you. Or you can text me at Messenger, or just send it in Facebook, or send it on my Facebook page, Inspired Motivated Leadership. I'd appreciate it. And we can grow together. But have a super fantastic evening. I hope this finds you well. I will do this every night at 7 o'clock. Usually what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a question during the day that I hope everybody has fun and enjoys being a part of. And then I will talk about it in the evening. In fact, what I will do is I will find a comment from that day that I'm going to share. Probably the next morning, I'll do a short little 5-minute with sharing from that comment. Sometimes I'll use that for my Facebook Live also. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and we will talk soon. Have a super fantastic evening.